One of the best post-apocalyptic city builders that we've ever featured on the channel is now getting a sequel. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to our first look at Endzone 2, an incredibly detailed post-apocalyptic city builder that really plays a lot like Banished. And if you're a big fan of Banished and or Anno 1800 or the previous game Endzone, and perhaps another adjacent game known only, of course, as Surviving the Aftermath, then this game might really appeal to you. Well, we're going to take a first look here at the demo, as the game is coming out sometime later this year, and I'm delighted to see that the game actually had its Kickstarter pop off and be successful. I will say this game has absolutely no reason having music this good. Listen throughout the whole playthrough. It's absolutely a boppin' banger soundtrack, and I'm really excited to see where this game goes in the future. Well, if you'd like to see more of this game, make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and bop that like button to let YouTube know you'd like to see more survival games, zombie games, and or just building games in general. And let's go ahead and now take our first look at the Endzone 2 Early Access demo.
I'm pleased to meet you. I'm going to look over your shoulder while you help our settlers set up a new home. By the way, I'm Ella.
Ella, are you going to be backseating me? I am a survival... Alright, well, never mind. I was going to say I'm an expert, but let's give her a shot.
Out here in the wasteland, you'll find ruins and other interesting places. More important, however, is that we find a suitable site where we can establish a settlement.
That literally reminds me of the bus from, Mad Max. Alright, now, there's going to be a lot of pop-ups on the screen to give us some advice and tips, and I've left them on purpose, but we'll be skipping through a lot of them, so if you'd like some help for yourself, just to get a hang of the game or whatnot, you can always pause at any moment to see exactly what it's leading us into, but Ella should do a pretty good job of kind of leading us on step by step to building a big O base. Alright, let's go ahead and get started.
At the moment, all our settlers are in the Pathfinder, and you can explore the surrounding area with them. But time is tight. When the water in the Pathfinder is used up, everyone inside will die of thirst.
So basically this is just a survival vehicle, like a base builder in an RTS, and so we need to, well, this is the apocalyptic world that's dead, irradiated, destroyed, and or filled with bandits, so we gotta head down the road and find a safe area in order to build our base.
New instructions?
So now we have to find an inhabitable zone. Luckily, it's almost like a radar van that gives us access to 3 different locations to where we can build in. One in the south, one directly west, and one a little bit to the northwest. Let's go ahead and check out this first closest location and see exactly where it leads us.
Got it.
So there's people piled into this bus, as well as a bunch of supplies. In the original game, we would basically just start with, I think, just like a town hall already pre-built, and all the supplies would be there. So this is kind of like a way where we get to choose and possibly build multiple settlements and also go out and salvage things from the world. So in the original game, just like in this game, we can go out and send scouts to pick up things like concrete blocks, plastics, metal, food, ammunition, whatever else might be out in the world you'd imagine that could be brought back to our base. So right now the Pathfinder is this essentially off-road bus. Hopefully we get different vehicles, but I really think that's a good idea to allow us to make vehicles and actually travel the land around our settlement. Now that's not the first game to do that, but I do appreciate the fact that we actually get to kind of explore via vehicle rather than just have a base that kind of we already know what's there. Or like, for example, in Surviving the Aftermath, have a guard tower or whatnot be able to show us where to go. Look at that. We have ourselves a ruin right there. That could be anything from a recycling plant to maybe an old food factory or something. It says logistics, so could have some sort of useful supply in there. I don't know where the van's going exactly. Oh, and look at this. There's a bridge too, so we might be able to get to the other side or possibly do trade or something or defend ourselves from bandits. I have no idea where this van's going. He's sticking to the road. Maybe there must be some sort of route around. Now, I've already played this a little bit just to see what it was like, and so I could already say that pretty much every one of these sites is the same in terms of its supplies, but different with its layout. So we'll find things like a water source, trees, some initial starting materials like wood for possibly building with that could be scavenged too, not just trees that could be cut down. There's also some fertile farmland and some areas to forage for things like nuts, fruits, and berries, and mushrooms. And all right, let's see. Where is this guy going?
Found a new zone.
Oh, damn.
Take a look at it when you get a chance. It might be worth it to build a new settlement on it.
Damn right it is. All right, we're going to go ahead and build here. And I think, well, we probably can climb the hill over there or over here, too. That is a lot of great territory. What a zone. And a lot of great windmills, too, to salvage for metal and scrap and things like that. All right, not bad. So the vehicle's on its way still.
I'm at the wheel.
We're going to go ahead and drive up here. We're not allowed to drive in the inhabitable zone. The bus is like irradiated in an off-road vehicle that might tear up and destroy all this very valuable land and soil. So we don't want it anywhere near the base, so it can kind of stay out in this parking lot area. So we'll get close and then start setting up like a kind of a dock for it to basically connect to. So let's build a new settlement.
So that's been taken care of. This transfer point serves as an access point for vehicles and connects your zone with the surrounding wasteland. Look for an ascent on the perimeter of your new zone where you can place the access point.
Isn't that music an absolute banger? So this kind of reminds me of Anno, right? When you're settling a new island and you're building a dock. So essentially this inhabitable area is almost like an island in the middle of land. So let's go ahead and build it right there.
First of all, you have to find a location that is supposed to become the center of the settlement.
Oh,
Once chosen, you won't be able to change the location again.
okay.
As a result, make sure you place the town center near key resources, such as water, trees, and debris remnants.
All right, well, that seems to be all three of those things, so let's do what she says, boys. Boom.
First off, we have to ensure survival. We need water so that we don't die of thirst. Build a jetty by a body of water and assign enough workers that our supply is secure.
I've got to say, I love the look of the buildings in this game, truly. I really feel like if Banished ever made a sequel and it was post-apocalyptic, this is exactly how it would look. There's great detail here for all the buildings and for all the, like, just the little details like barrels and stuff. Even buildings that are destroyed, like this little, I don't know, a sawmill here. Yeah, this, like, old, like, German town building. I think this game actually is made with Europe in mind, made by, I believe, Germans, which is why some of the town names might be similar to that. Not this one particularly, but anyway, there's some locations and things that nod to that direction, but it doesn't mean that exactly. Let's go ahead and start with our first thing, building a jetty. So that's going to be under our water tab, but then, of course, we have to worry about food, gathering raw materials or growing them, trades and crafts, so things like brick making and also tools. We also then have industry to smelt things like iron, copper, and lead. Then we also have mining itself. Then we have logistics too, including an access point, which is something we kind of just built. A bunch of different shelters, which, by the way, the way that shelters work in this game is really cool. So stay tuned to see exactly how that works, because it's probably one of the most unique ways I've seen buildings laid out. I was expecting something along the lines of Anno 1800's different classes, like artisans and workers, and it kind of works that way, but it's much, much different. And in fact, it encourages you building industries further away and then houses around those industries. So in a way, it kind of reminds me of the latest Frostpunk 2. If you've seen the beta for that, you'll notice that you know, you build industries and then kind of like districts around them to house people maybe temporarily while they work there as where they live somewhere else. Okay, now we're tasked with assigning, what, 2 people, 3 people to work there.
The jetty produces water as long as workers are assigned to it. Always make sure that sufficient water is available. If the supply runs low, assign more settlers to work at the jetty.
Wow, look at that hustle. People are getting all those buckets of water and storing it right there in that big old tank. Cool.
Water alone is not enough to survive. We need to eat, too. Build a foraging hut near trees and assign manpower to it as well, so that the workers search for food.
Yeah, all right, you got it. I don't want to cut too deep into the forest and destroy some trees. But we'll build it right on the edge. I think that's probably a good spot there. Oh yeah, that should be a lot of good food. Perfect. All right, that's getting built next. Now, it looks like construction in this game kind of works like how it does in the original Frostpunk, where buildings will be constructed even if you have everyone working jobs, and then you'll kind of see people walk over and start building. Although it works pretty much at any time rather than just at night where people would primarily do building. You know what I mean. All right, let's build a forager hut with 3 people. Done.
The foraging hut produces food as long as there are sufficient resources in its vicinity. If a region's resources are used up at some point, you can relocate the work area of a foraging hut at any time.
You got it.
We need building materials to be able to build new buildings in the future too. The woodcutting lodge cuts down trees, which produces wood. If you run out of trees at some point, you can also relocate your work area.
Oh, that's cool. So we can build it over here essentially, and then if we needed to, we can assign it over here, for example, too. All right, well, we don't want to cut too far into the forger, so maybe we could build it just on the other side, and then we could adjust the forger then to work up here, and then the sawmill to work over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Beautiful. Love the way these buildings look. I really do. It reminds me of those old, I don't know, Micro Machines play sets in a way. And I just really appreciate the detail that goes into the dirt and whatnot. And a much more colorful game than, like, for example, New Cycle, which is kind of brown and gray in many ways. But this at least has some lush green, and it's kind of pleasant to look at. In comparison, they're both great city builders.
Your woodcutting lodge is already producing. By the way, a production site can produce faster when it stands near a depot.
Oh.
Although you don't have any depots, the town center has the same effect.
Okay, so if we build near the town center, then things will get a little bit of a bonus. Kind of hard to build the town center, though, like in the middle of a forest and then have all that stuff around it, but I get it.
Besides wood, the most important building material is scrap.
Oh.
That's what the scrapyard is for. It collects scrap that lies around and takes apart old ruins.
Well, there's a lot of ruins here. Let's go ahead and build next to this one then. We'll build a little bit of a gap for a road that could eventually be put there, but we haven't been tasked with building roads just yet, but that's why I'm leaving gaps between buildings. Alright, so the scrapyard, that will go ahead and start scrapping then cars and awnings and old piles of junk and boxes and crates. And then I think we can refine that into plastic from a recycler, which is exactly what's present in the first game too. So let's go ahead and do that with 2. Oh, not done yet. There we go.
Well done. On the other hand, our settlers are still sleeping out in the open. We ought to change that before we enlarge this settlement any further.
Right, we need some houses.
Shelters provide for housing and can boost the efficiency of your production runs. Each building belongs to one of 3 settlement branches. The more buildings that stand in one settlement branch of the settlement, the more these buildings progress in that branch. This progress
That's amazing.
enables us to do research on new buildings from that branch. More about research later on.
So essentially, however many people you dedicate towards a particular type of industry, they'll get smarter and craftier living near that job and thinking, working, breathing, sleeping, eating that job. You know what I mean?
That's not all. Production buildings that have a dwelling from the same settlement branch nearby function distinctly more effectively too.
So yeah, we have ourselves economy buildings and then also ecology buildings. So the forager and the water gatherer are both ecology, so we'll build those types of homes over here.
If an ecological tent stands next to a jetty, then the jetty functions more effectively. In contrast, the scrapyard and woodcutting lodge profit from economic tents.
Okay. So she wants us to build 4. So we'll build 1 near the scrapyard. God, this music's crazy cool. And then another one here by the lumber mill. Okay, so that should be 4 homes as soon as they're done. New research available for the ecology. And they blend together so well, they look so nice. And they kind of match color-wise, too. It's like having different guilds. Can't wait till we get to the spacing guild, because the spice is nice. This episode is sponsored by Laurie Seasoning Salt. Just kidding.
Settlers will reproduce and have children.
Oh,
Children
kids.
are tomorrow's manpower and can work as soon as they've grown up.
I see. Now, what's interesting about this symbol for a child is, I don't know about you, but it obviously is a child with its arms out and it's wearing like a little diaper. But to me, it kind of looks like a 1920 mobster with like the hat and the, like the suit with the, I don't know what you call it, but the, yeah. Okay.
Our settlement is thriving. Now we want to produce
Lapel?
a new resource, plastic. Build a recycler to do that. If the scrapyard is nearby, the recycler produces faster.
Alright, if the scrapyard's nearby, it'll produce faster. Okay, let's build next to that then. There's our scrapyard anyway. And look at that, they kind of connect in a nice little way. Kind of cool. Okay, so that's going to get us plastic. Plastic will make it possible then. Looks like there's also a plantation, a swamp farm, upgraded plantation and lumberjack huts, and also a tree nursery too, so we have a little bit of a forester building.
Buildings that process resources work faster when they are located near their source.
Mm-hmm.
The recycler needs scrap to manufacture plastic. That's why it benefits from being near the scrapyard. The toolmaker not only needs scrap, but wood as well. It's best when both resources are produced near him. But don't worry if you're not able to place him perfectly. Naturally, he'll attend to his work anyway.
Interesting. Alright, now to build the toolmaker. So the toolmaker will take scrap and also wood, so we have to kind of put it closer to one or the other. So let's build it next to the houses. I'm sure they'll love the clanking and clinking all day and night, as it's essentially like a blacksmith. But that's what you get when you're living in the economy district. Kind of more like a apprentice or like a workers district. Hard workers. See, these people are going to get things done. Alright, so then we have to assign 2 people to the toolmaker. Again, these buildings look so good. I know some people don't like gridiron games, or it's not their cup of tea. I think it's here to stay forever, and Banished certainly solidified it that way. But when they can look this kind of free form like that, it's kind of hard to tell a little bit that it is a gridiron game. It's really impressive. Really impressive.
Very good. Now we have plastic and tools, things which are needed in some buildings for production. They are also important to be able to build more complex buildings in the first place.
Oh, autosave. Oh, look at that. That looks cool. No HUD.
The settlement is growing, and soon the supplies won't be sufficient anymore.
True.
More settlers consume more food and water, too. Build a fishery to support the foraging hut.
Okay, she wants us to build a fishery now. So what is that going to take? Looks like we're short on tools here. We've got a requirement of 5. We have 32 wood, 14 scrap, and 5 with what looks to be a 25-second construction time. And here we have tools of 2. So perhaps we should add a few more people to the tool making. It's probably something that's going to slow us down a little bit. And they also want us to assign another water carrier. Good idea as our population grows. There's that building. And build a fishery and then assign a fisherman to it. Still can't build roads, though. Not letting us build roads yet. Nope. Can't build it. Alright. Now we're at 4 tools. I guess the only other way around this would be to speed up time, but I also don't want to miss any second. Looks like we can also rename our city if we want to. The glorious city of Raptoria has now been founded. Oh, look at that. We can change the color of our settlement and also the symbols. That must be visible from the world map or something like that. Where's the Raptoria logo? You guys got to put that in there. I'd be fine with that. Let's go ahead and make it a little mountain or something like that. Sure. Cool. Looks nice. All right. Let's build a... Now, I'm assuming the fish is also going to be ecology, so to build that next to the already pre-existing housing district there would be good. Build that right there. Perfect. Can we actually see fish? Kind of cool that we can see the bottom of the small lake or pond. Kind of nice. And previously, in these games, we would get hit by sandstorms and droughts and things, and this would actually, like, dry up a little bit. So we'll need alternative sources to get water. One of the ways I've seen it in the previous game is by building water towers that can also filter the water as it comes in. Obviously, it'd be contaminated by the atmosphere, but rain collectors should be able to filter that out, and or wells from the ground. All right, let's assign some fishermen.
Though the fishery is more effective than the foraging hut, it constantly uses up tools for its production. If there are no tools, then the fishery can't function. Conversely, the fishery produces faster when tools are produced near it.
We're out of manpower, though, so we can't really assign anybody else.
Now, we also need cloth to be able to set up more tents. Cloth is produced from fibers, and we have to grow them first.
Oh.
To do this, build a plantation in the vicinity of fertile soil. The only way you can create a field is on fertile soil.
Ah, so down here. Is there any other locations? Seems to be a blue location there. Is that fertile as well? It actually looks... Oh, that looks contaminated. Or maybe that's for the swamp farms they mentioned. But this looks... Yeah, that looks lush and nice. Pretty flowers there, too. Okay, let's build that maybe down here. So we'll build it nearby and then connect farm fields to it. Let's do that. And I think it works like it does in Anno 1800, where we build the building and then, you know, paint a field away from it. So in this case, we'll be building things to make cloth. It says to instruct the plantation to lay out a cultivation area, assign gardeners, and then achieve an increasing inventory stock of fibers. Construction progress is slow. I guess workers will have to walk a little while to get over here, but got to go to the source. We can't just build a farm anywhere. Now, while we're waiting, the tools are going up. That's good. And no additional people coming in. Could try to build some houses, though. I mean, we will need more workers for that building regardless. So let's see here. We've got our, of course, our economic logging area over there. I also noticed there's one for social, would look to be, yeah, society. So there might be ways to go through laws or something like that. Litigation. Now we're short on cloth, but one more house will be good for those farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Okay, and we've got about halfway done on the progress. Cool. Looks like we can also build, or rather see if there's depots in the vicinity or link from a road to the town center, which boosts buildings efficiencies by 10. Damn. You'd think that would be a requirement, but perhaps in this game they've made it harder to build roads because it looked like it may take gravel, so we might have to actually build maybe a gravel plant or something to gather and construct those a little bit more effectively. Okay, we just need to assign one gardener there and a big O field. So let's go ahead and build a big O field here. We'll just do everything we can within the radius. And is that 100? Oh, it is. 100 out of 100.
Well done. Up till now,
We can build another
we
one.
only grow fibers. But if we find more types of seeds, then we can cultivate them on the plantation too.
All right, so we'll be able to do that by maybe trading or researching or by possibly exploring.
The fibers are crafted into cloth at a weaving mill. This requires water in addition to fibers. So make sure that sufficient supplies of water are always available.
Gotcha. Now this building type is a industrial building, so we might want to put it over here. We can get a little bonus from the houses. But also we could put it near the farm, which might actually require ecology. Let's see what the farm building would be. Indeed it is. Ecology +2. Alright, the weaving mill's going up next. And now we get to see all the buildings at night. Very cool that only a few of them are lit. The brightest ones, of course, are the blacksmith. That's neat. Ah, lack of storage capacity for water and for food. Well, that's a good thing then. We've got too many resources for food and water. That's a good problem to have for now. Okay, the weaving mill is going up. Again, within range of that house there. Kind of hard to tell how close you got to be to everything. Almost may as well be a next door neighbor. You can kind of have it somewhat adjacent diagonally, but that's about the best you can do. Ah, we need another person moved in then, so we can get somebody in the weaving mill. And we're not making any more cloth, so we do need people to move in, right? We've got up here cloth, coal, activated carbon masks, clay, bricks, herbs, and vaccine ampules. So perhaps things to other diseases, obviously protection from radiation. And I can remember also having charcoal activated masks, but even like full contamination suits. Oh, there's our settlement branches. Looks like economy and ecology are pretty close to each other. Not too far off. Looks like somebody moved in.
Now you can set up more tents for our settlers to create space for new inhabitants.
Or a baby grew up.
This is necessary too, because we're going to need a lot of hard-working hands. Keep in mind to place the tents near the appropriate production buildings so that they can function more effectively.
You got it. Okay, so now they want us to build 3 more homes. And we could definitely build some more for each of the buildings. So perhaps we could put one here for the farm. And that'll help to boost their productivity, so that's nice. But looks like each of them are going to need 5 cloth. So we've kind of reached the end of that. Luckily, we've got 22 tools now. So at least we can build more of those, but no hands to do the work. So we'll have to wait for the 5 babies to grow up. Children must be grown up before they can start working in professions. Head count 5 out of 5. Settlement-wide data. Hold shift to lock? Don't know exactly what that means, but... and it's becoming morning again. A beautiful morning here in Raptoria. Another day as we survive. Love this building, by the way. I wish it were a little bit more like Infection-Free Zone, where we could take over a building and convert it. This huge structure here would be perfect for at least some shelter. It's not the best ever, but honestly, if you were to, isolate some of these rooms, you could try to keep them warm and could provide some protection in the winter, although we'll see exactly how winter is. Now, again, this game being post-apocalyptic, I believe that they... there's different ways that they portray what could have happened. I believe in the original game, there were some eco-terrorists who attacked nuclear power plants, and I think some of them exploded, and then there was maybe like nuclear war and fighting over resources. And then other games like Surviving the Aftermath go into things like the moon being hit by an asteroid and exploding, and things like, I think just general climate change, flooding, other things like that. A lot of different things that, even nuclear war, that provide the reasoning for why there's irradiated ground and things like that, or the destruction of the ozone layer. They go into different things, and that's kind of cool.
I'm at the wheel.
That they experiment with different backgrounds rather than it being one canon story. Go ahead and plop that there. Oh, lack of resources. We need 1 more cloth. That's going to take a while. We're going to have to speed up time here. Let's go ahead and go into tier 2 if we can. And we'll plop this one down right here for the farm. More cloth or fiber from the farm means more cloth from the weaver, so that's going to be good. That's 1 there. And we can build another one here whenever we have a chance. Of course, that means more people working now, plus 2. Let's get those people fully pimped out now for production. And next will probably be the farm. They need to produce a lot more cloth too. There's only 1 person working there. Lack of resources, so we gotta cancel 1 person from there. Bring them over here to the farm. That'll help with output a little bit. And then we repeat the cycle again as soon as we put down some more cloth. Let's speed up to tier 3 now. Looks like we're day 3 in the upper left corner. The little sun must show us that it's summer and that we're 3 days in. I can also see that health is slowly deteriorating, so we're going to need, obviously, some health building soon. Okay, so that should be building number 7. Oh, I love the little weaving road between, like an alleyway between the houses. I don't know if the game is doing that or how these are being laid out. Maybe I've just gotten lucky where they kind of, they seem believable, but I'm not sure how. New research available for economy. Excellent. Go with another little ecology building maybe down by the farms, where we could build another farm eventually. Could build it like here. I think I'll build a farm directly next to it and then fill that whole area up there. But we need more cloth, so we need 4 or 5. Maybe we'll build it right here. Boom. Okay, that should take care of that. Let's get the house completed.
Thanks to our joint efforts, our little settlement is soon not going to be so little anymore.
True. Let's definitely increase the cloth production, because that's going to help to get housing up.
If the population increases, then the settlement's supply situation has to grow too.
True.
Apart from the jetty, you can also build wells that can pump water out of wet, swampy marsh soil.
Well, is that true? Okay, that's your swampy soil there. All right, let's start from the bottom. achieve an increasing inventory stock of water. So build buildings that produce food 3. So let's do another food building, then we'll get on to water. Looks like we could go with another fishery, but let's go with another foraging building. And we'll do that like up here. Right near the shoreline. There we go. Now I believe these should grow back every year, so we should almost have an infinite number of like berries and mushrooms and other things like that for them to forage. We'll see. Okay, now we need to build a well, and that can pump it from this water over here. Is that the closest one? Yeah, so from the swampy soil. Let's see what way it'll look. Something like that, I think. And that's going to give us well water. Now, in the other game, you could actually do farm irrigation, and there's also power in this game, so windmills and solar panels should provide us with a lot of power. We could also salvage some things from these towers, too. And, yeah, I think those can actually power these wells, and then that could give us a little bit of energy for a grid. I don't remember if there's batteries or not, but I just specifically remember building like a solar panel battery, essentially like a big area for all the solar power to be gathered and stored, and then to power the town, which is cool. Okay, 2 well keepers, and we'll just need water to go up. So they're going to pump that out of here. Ooh, look at how nice that looks.
The supply situation is stable. Soon our depots will be filled to the brim.
That looks cool.
When the depots are full, you have to increase their capacity. There is a depot for water, one for food, and one for all other materials. Place depots near your production sites so that they can produce quickly.
You got it. Okay, so a cistern, a food depot, and a material depot. Alright, so let's build our cistern here. That looks good. Then a food depot. Well, that's perfect between these two. Oh, little auto save again. We could build it right between these two and maybe try to get the jetty in there, but I mean the fishing dock, I don't think that's going to work. It will. Wow, look at that. Okay. Let's build that like that for the food depot. Lucky, lucky. And then the material depot. Wood really hasn't been a problem. We seem to have quite a bit of that. And scrap's going to be needed because it's going to convert into plastics too. We need both scrap and plastics to be able to build things. So we'll build that right here, as we also have our tool maker. So it shouldn't take too long for them to work. And I see we're going to need more population too. Let's build it like that. And maybe another one here. We may need people to work at these buildings for storage. Nope, they're just an area for them to store stuff. Nobody has to go out and gather. That looks like a little bunker, doesn't it?
Depot increases the maximum number of resources that can be stockpiled at a settlement. When your depots are full, buildings cannot produce any further.
Oh.
Besides the short distance to a depot, good availability is important for production buildings. A production site produces more effectively when it is connected to the town center by a road.
Roads? We finally get to build roads? Alright, if you're a member of the channel, spam the hell out of your Doc Brown Bear emotes from Back to the Future, and you can also put them down in the comments section too. If you haven't become a member, smack that join button, support the channel there, and get access to a plethora of emotes. Enjoy. Alright, let's go ahead and build a bunch of roads. Well, it says buildings connected to roads. We just need 5. Or rather, to the town hall. So, and does that cost anything? It looks like, oh, it will cost tools. Okay, so we'll have to be kind of strategic about what we connect. Well, we'll start then with the tool maker.
The more buildings you connect via your road network, the more stable the production at your settlement is going to be able to run.
Okay. I'll build another one up here too. We got quite a few tools, but before we go any further, let's go ahead and connect all this up because it's pretty important. Let's see, the Main depot here too. We also have that farm field to get to.
When our economy thrives, it uses up more resources too. Luckily, we're able to have our wood grow back again. We have the tree nursery for that.
Yes, the nursery, we sure do. Whittle baby trees. There we go. Alright, build a tree nursery and assign foresters. Where is that? Okay, we'll plop that there, and then we'll maybe make it grow trees here. We'll see. Low water reserves. Uh-oh. Let's make sure we've got max number of people working at the water places. Build another water pump. And we're always going to continuously need more people. So we'll build some houses here. Oh, I love this landscape too in Endzone. They've done such a good job of making a post-apocalyptic world rather believable. Overturned power lines, destroyed windmills, trucks and tanks and wheel loaders and like ambulances and stuff just sitting around. It really looks believable. Really, really.
Awesome. The tree nursery will plant trees within its work area that can be used again by the woodcutting lodge. That way, we create a healthy loop.
Healthy loop indeed. Absolutely. Amen, sister. Alright, looks good.
The needles of the Geiger counters begin to swing hotter. A sharp increase in radiation is going to occur soon. We should start to get sufficient protective clothing ready.
Ah, okay.
Oh no. I had hoped we'd have more time. Now we have to act fast. We need protective clothing to shield us against radiation. For the first component of a complete set of equipment, we need coal.
Well, we can make coal if we have a charcoal burner, and yep, indeed, we can build one of those. That's good. But that means we're going to need more wood, which she kind of alluded to. Let's go ahead and build that next to... Oh, that'll drop the health of our people and happiness a little bit, too, so we need to be careful. We don't want to build that near anybody. But we could build it... we'll build it here. So that'll burn all the charcoal. Or wood into charcoal. Fix our road up a little bit. There we go. So we're making a lot of cloth for more homes. Lots of babies. Lots and lots of babies. Make sure we've maxed out some of our important industries. Putting more effort towards food production. Although it seems like that's fine. Water's really going to be the critical issue. I wonder if there's a efficiency problem if we overlap these two. That could be a thing. I hadn't thought about that until now. Sometimes games will make it so you can't overlap. It doesn't directly appear to be a problem. We could build another jetty. Build a little road. And of course, these will help to increase the efficiency by 10%. So definitely important to be able to build roads first, I think. They made us do it a little later. But if everything's connected, it boosts all that productivity by 10. I think it's all connected. I may have missed something. We'll see. Okay, now we need 2 people to work as charcoal burners.
Coal is made from wood. When wood gets scarce, Assign more settlers to the woodcutting lodge, or build a second one. The tailor shop can make protective masks out of coal and cloth. They ought to be sufficient at first. Our settlement already produces cloth, and you have just taken care of getting coal.
I did, yes, ma'am. Oh, these are economy buildings here. The wells are. So we could convert those if we want to. Oh, and there's our Pathfinder, too. Looks like we might be able to build another colony that way. A vehicle that serves to cross swampy and hazardous terrain. Interesting. So if we want to demolish something, how do we do that? Oh, there's also a research tree. Look at that. Economy, ecology, society, clay pits, brickworks. Okay, that's how we unlock more technology then. And then, yes, we can have multiple settlements too. So we're going to be building not only one city, but multiple colonies or settlements. And then it looks like there's a transport route, so we can transport things between them. And then what looks to be a possible Frostpunk level event system eventually. Maybe it'll be something like good and bad things happening. All right, we want to demolish these homes. How do we do that? There is a demolish building button there. The hotkey is... I'm not sure exactly. Okay, so we'll build economy buildings there to boost the water production. It's going to be super important. It looks like we can do it down here too. Or... I thought I saw one. Okay, I saw where the second one was. It's to the lower left. So we certainly want to make more housing and overlap too. There we go. So we can get all that water going. Water's incredibly important here. Okay. Build a tailor's workshop. And that is a... interesting. A society tier. We're starting to get into the artisans now from Anno 1800. So let's go ahead and build that maybe over here. I guess we'll put it there. Oh, we're missing something. Looks like some wood now. That's the last thing. So wood's starting to get a little bit more scarce. Get more people working at the tree nursery and at the sawmill. Water still going down. No, actually, up and down a little bit. It's bouncing up and down. So we need 20 wood to build that. What are those other things down there? What looks to be wood scrap. And I'm not entirely sure the last two at the moment. Okay, we just need a little bit more wood. Every time that population grows, it's good to flesh out your other industries too. So we certainly need to be continuously building pretty much one house per every new industry. It also looked like we were getting 2 new people per like building that we build, new house. So that's something interesting to consider. Oh, look at how cool that looks. Oh, there's like a harvester sitting here too. It looks like a... oh, yeah, like a what is it? Class or class? Something else, but yeah. Trying to sneak in real-world brands there. Pretty cool. Pretty clever. Okay, we're going to have one person work as a tailor. And then we can start doing society. Oh, they don't want to live next to the charcoal, of course, so we'll have to put it a little further away. They'll be happy living there. Okay, activated charcoal masks. So we'll need to make some of those. So we've got, what, 42 people plus 25 children in the camp? And these masks should help to prevent or protect them from radiation, poison, or sickness. And as you can see, their health is dipping a little bit to 72, but there's still 0% chance of radioactive contamination. But that's because, you know, it's just starting. Big concern on water. Big concern. We're going to need more. Are they both fully staffed? They are. What is the jetty pulling in? Oh, 5, but very frequently. Build another one. Ah, we need more materials, though. Water's going to be the thing to make or break us here. Achieve an inventory... Oh, an increasing stock. Ah, so I think first we need to make sure everyone's supplied, and then we need to have a surplus or, like, some in storage. So, I guess we get more people working at the tailor's shop, they'll be able to do more.
Good. The protective clothing is truly a blessing. It is issued to the settlers automatically.
Oh, good.
If a settlement is contaminated and our settlers are unprotected, that can mean the end of the settlement.
Roger that, ma'am.
Our fears have been confirmed. The radiation levels are rising sharply.
Oh, no. Detta är inte bra. Jag är inte gillar det.
The higher the radiation level in a zone, the better we have to protect our settlers.
Oh.
If the protective clothing is not sufficient at some point, the inhabitants' exposure to radiation rises.
Dopichi.
When the radiation exposure gets too high, our settlers will gradually die of it. Even if the protection is sufficient at first, we should also prepare ourselves soon against potentially stronger radiation.
It's raining.
Regardless of whether due to radiation, a poor supply situation, or simply getting too old, sooner or later, we have to say farewell to every settler. We need a place where we can lay the dead to rest.
There looks to be 4 different sources, too, for radiation protection, so cool that it goes beyond face masks. Alright, a graveyard, an area for graves, and an undertaker. Is he going to put somebody through a table? Okay, we've got ourselves 40 wood and 20 scrap that's needed there, and it looks like, you know, it's a society building, and also, it looks like it runs like a farm. We'll have to paint an area for a graveyard? Okay. Oh man, that water still.
The water is running out. If nothing changes, it'll be the end of us. We've got to do something.
You're right, ma'am. Okay, I think we just saved it. Maybe we have not. Oh, wow. Well, let's try another jetty then. Gonna try a jetty and see if we can get a little extra water. There we go. Radiation storm in 11 minutes. Gonna keep building up supplies for a little bit. Still building that, okay. Okay, that'll help us out for a little while. Just a little bit. Still at 0. Wow, that's crazy with water. I still have a feeling that these being overlapped is a negative debuff. Oh yeah, same types of building nearby. There you go. Oh, we also have an achievement for getting 50 people. Excellent. Okay, so there definitely is a debuff there. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure when building those, but now I actually see this thing here and that confirms it. That's the first time I've seen that, so we'll need to make sure that we spread out each of these pumps to different locations. And it might be the same thing for the jetty, but I doubt it because they're... What? Okay, that shouldn't be a thing. When you're pulling from a massive, like, lake, one jetty sitting next to another jetty, it's not like Minecraft where when you pull a bucket out, it needs to, like, slowly refill. Water doesn't work that way. So there should definitely be a production time increased by 2. That's silly. So the, I'll move the jetty down a little bit further. Yeah, that should be changed a little bit for the lakes. Let's go ahead and build another pump down here, though. And that means we're going to have to place these pumps. Actually, that's very interesting. You could only put maybe 2 pumps then on each location. So let's plop one there with a big O road. So that's going to change how we do things, I think, a little bit. So we definitely should get rid of 2 of these. So let's keep our original one. And then we'll build another one. Maybe up here. So that should help. So we're going full into water. Oh, we got corpses now from, yeah, from natural deaths, I suppose. Maybe it's actually from water, too. Lack of water. But they did allude to the fact that we would need those. So we're going to need a lot of wood. Okay. I think we're a little bit more concerned about the radioactive storm. That might be a little bit more of a problem for us. Yeah, let's build another water pump here. Okay, those 2 should be fine. And now with that lesson learned, we'll never overlap them again if we can prevent it. Water's looking actually quite good. And we could, of course, build a pathway through here. Alright, and a cemetery. Just need a little bit more scrap on that one then. And everything else is getting built. Beautiful. Graveyard, we just need 20 scrap. Make sure these are full up. I'm not seeing any debuff. So it's just the white dotted line can't cross another building. That's what it is. So the 2 dotted lines can cross, but they can't cross another building. Got it. So that solves the water problem. Let's get started with the graveyard then. Yeah, we can't just yet. Pulling the water up on the nose. Feels good. And let's go for graveyard. This music is outstanding. Again, it has no reason being this good, and it was like that in the original game as well. And I think they even offered maybe multiple radio stations. At least I know that was the case for sure with Surviving the Aftermath. But Endzone was another good game too. You don't have to have played the original game to play this one, but I think if you really like the demo for this one, it's something you should definitely pick up, and probably is on sale after the announcement of a sequel or whenever there's a sequel coming. Usually the original game goes on sale so people can kind of get into the genre. Oh, that's kind of cool. Almost looks like a church a little bit. Like if this were a little taller, it would look like a church. Right now it just looks like a warehouse. Alright, let's build 100 plots. If we can. Oh, wow. Wait, we already built graves for everybody?
Thanks a lot. Now we have a place to mourn and commemorate those who had to come and go before our time.
That's gotta be... That's interesting. It's interesting how the tombstones are here now. I feel like this should all just be dirt, and then they eventually pop up later. I don't know.
I think we've put down roots here and can start to upgrade the settlement further. We need sturdy building material to do that. We ought to fire bricks, and to do that, we need clay.
Alright.
We're not able to extract clay just like that yet. For some advanced technologies, we lack the necessary know-how. We have to accumulate that knowledge first.
Research.
To be able to perform research, first you have...
Oh, sorry, ma'am. I cut you off. I'm sorry. But she wants us to go out on an expedition as well. Alright. So we just need to get a technology point and then start going out on expeditions. So this kind of works like it does in Frostpunk, but kind of also local at the same time. So like, for example, the building that we discovered before, these locations can be expeditions where we can send people there. Special booty. Ooh. So yeah, there's locations that kind of allow us to go there, and it'll say something like, oh, there's a heavy blast door. How do you want to get in? Like, do you want to use materials? Should we use explosives? And someone has the chance of getting killed, or you can get extra materials. It all just depends. It really does. Endzone 2. Very, very promising. And I'm very excited for the full release of the game sometime soon. But the demo's out now, so check it out if you'd like. Thank you again for subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much for leaving a like, and I hope to see you all sometime soon. We're simply out of time for today, so we'll certainly be live streaming and playing a lot more of this. So if you've enjoyed it, drop by for more. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.